Hello everybody, and welcome to Appalachian Cemetery Hunting with Robin. Today we're going to look at two small cemeteries in Knox County, Tennessee, the Holbert family cemetery and the Major Cemetery. First, the Holbert family cemetery, which is located off State Highway 441, or as it's called by the locals, Norris Freeway, and it is in the Pedago community in North Knox County. Here's a map showing its location, and I'll give you a few seconds to look at it. It was established in the mid-1800s, and when I was putting this video together, I noticed two different spellings for this family's surname. One is Holbert, and the other is Halbert. Now, there are only 16 people buried here, so let's get started. First, we have Susanna Jane Holbert Gammon, 1873 to 1937. Next is Elizabeth Hall Halbert, 1820 to 1893. Now we have Stephen Halbert, 1820 to 1894. Next is Priscilla Hayes, 1823 to 1887, and you'll notice how faded the inscription on her stone is. Next, we have Griffin G. Holbert, 1843 to 1910, and according to a source on findagrave.com, he served in Company F of the 7th Tennessee Mounted Infantry in the Union Army during the Civil War. Next, we have Hattie Holbert, 1911 to 1914. And she was only 3 years old when she passed away. Now we have Mary E. Hayes Holbert, 1850 to 1926. Next is Paris C. Holbert, 1893 to 1894. And this baby only lived for 1 year. Next, we have Thomas L. Holbert, 1871 to 1893. And you'll notice how the tree has grown over his grave. Next, we have Mary A. Holbert Keck, 1867 to 1888. And now we have her son Ollie Keck, who was born on June 5th, 1888, and died on July 1st of 1888. Now, Mary died on June 14th, 9 days after Ollie was born, and he died at only 26 days old. It makes me wonder if there was some kind of complication during childbirth. Now, there are 5 people buried here that have no pictures of their graves, and they are Stephen Marion Halbert. He was born in 1774, but we have no death date. And he came from Tennessee from North Carolina. Next, we have Thomas L. Halbert, 1857 to 1880. Next is Virginia Halbert. She went by Jenny, and she was born in 1775, and we have no death date for her. Now, she immigrated from North Carolina too, so I'm wondering if she was the wife of Stephen Halbert that we just talked about. Next, we have Ada I. Holbert, born and died on April 28, 1921. Next, we have John C. Holbert, 1853 to 1932. And he was a noted blind musician and a member of the Old Time Fiddlers Association of Knox County. And he was frequently awarded prizes for his selections when conventions of the Old Time Fiddlers were held here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now let's look at the Major Cemetery. It is located on Beeler Road in the Gibbs community of East Knox County, Tennessee. Here's a map of its location, and I'll give you a few seconds to look at it. first burial in this cemetery was in 1840. Now there are only 14 people, I'm tongue-tied. There are only 14 people buried here, so let's take a look at them. First, we have Artlissa Major Bailey, and she went by Lissa, 1841 to 1897. And here is a colorized picture of her. Next, we have Eli Major, 1827 to 1911. Next is Elizabeth Crippen Major. She went by Betsy. She was born in 1774 and passed away in 1857. Next, we have an infant son of the Major family, born and died in 1854 at just 4 months of age. Next, we have Joseph A. Major, born and died in 1868, and he was only 15 days old when he passed. Next, we have Minerva Peterson Major, 1825 to 1856. Next, we have Smith Major. Yes, Smith was his first name. He was born in 1764 and died in 1840. Next is Susanna Skaggs Major, and she went by Susan, 1800 to 1878. Now we have Charles Simpson, 1845 to 1896. There are 5 graves with no pictures of the headstones, and they are John Wesley Bailey, 1842 to 1910, William Major, 1799 to 1882. Next, we have Lucinda E. Harbison McNabb, 1845 to 1867. Next is Moses Skaggs, 1794 to 1861. And last and certainly not least, we have Sarah Major Skaggs, 1804 to 1881. Now, folks, I'd like to take this time to ask all of you for a favor. As many of you know, the southeastern part of the United States was hit hard by the remnants of Hurricane Helene, especially western North Carolina and parts of East Tennessee, close to where Robin and I live in Knoxville. By the grace of God, we were spared the devastation that other areas suffered. Newport, Tennessee, and Chimney Rock, North Carolina were wiped out by the floodwaters. The small town of Irwin, Tennessee was heavily damaged, and I know there are a lot of others. 2 major interstates are closed due to being partially washed away, and sadly there are quite a few deaths as a result of this storm. For all of you who believe in the power of prayer, please ask the Lord to comfort and strengthen all those affected by the devastation, and ask Him to protect all the first responders and National Guard troops as well as the others who are in the area helping. And if you can possibly help, please contact your local authorities to get information on how you can do so. And that will finish this video for these 2 small cemeteries. We hope you enjoyed it, and that may have helped some of you with your family history. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and until next time, God bless.